And we're recording. Hello, Senate staff. We are here to share some awesome ideas that we came up with for how to improve the culture at Senate. There were a group of teachers this summer. It was myself, Lindsay Rowe, Mika Orieto, Rigo Gallegos, Lori Longini, and Sean Schradel that read a book called Cuturize by Jimmy Casas, and you can see it over here in the corner. It gave us very simple and easy ways that we could daily improve the culture at Senate. When we read our book, we met and then we talked about what are the things that we want to implement this year, and we have some longer plans for what we want to implement in the future. The three things that we came up with that you could do daily to improve our culture are: you can be a leader, model the culture that you want to see at Senate, and make some positive phone calls home.
All right, so the first big takeaway was being a leader. And the one thing that we continued to see throughout the book and kind of came back to a lot was how everyone can be a leader in their own way and in their own space. So it doesn't have to come down to your building principal, somebody from downtown, superintendent, whoever. It might be your boss. Anyone has the capacity to lead. That could be in your classroom space, on Zooms now that we're in the virtual learning world. It could be in your own role with a small group of students, one student. Wherever you are, whatever your job is, you can find ways to be that leader. And it doesn't have to be a huge undertaking. Everyone has something to share. Everyone has something to add. We all come from unique experiences and spaces, and we want to hear and see more of those voices that we don't always get a chance to see. So one of those things was take a chance, be a leader, step up and put yourself in those positions.
Another takeaway that we had was that we wanted to model the culture that we want. So we wanted to remain positive when we're around others, and really put our best effort forward in that, to keep that positivity up. We know that no one can remain 100% positive all the time. That's not realistic, but be aware of when we're frustrated and when we air those frustrations. Don't just start being crabby in the hallways, but be conscious of it, go into a room, shut the door, get it out, put your smile back on, and then walk back out with that smile back on your face. Find your tribe, find your people, find your professional learning network to help you remain positive. If you need a pick-me-up, go find somebody, say, whew, and have them pick you back up a little bit, and just really maintain that positive attitude. The kids are going to notice. The kids are going to feel that energy from you, and just really make sure that you're putting off that positive energy so that that positive energy can just be fed right into them.
The other thing that we are going to commit to is making positive communications home. We know that Dan has put that out in communication to parents. Sean has talked about it in some of our PD already this year. But what we want to do is we really want to focus on those moments. I know a lot of small learning communities do Students of the Week. And sometimes it's really hard for some of our kids to maintain a marvelous level all week long, but we want to make sure that we are recognizing when kids have those moments of greatness, and we call those marvelous moments. It could be, they stopped and helped somebody in the hallway. It could be that they took a risk in class with their learning. It could be they helped somebody else with their learning. I mean, it could be anything. Any small thing that a child does can be recognized as a marvelous moment, and it doesn't have to be just your students. I could find a student in Miss Longini's room, and I saw Sean help Joe pick up all of his materials. And I go to Miss Longini and I say, hey, I need to contact Sean's parents. Can you give me their contact information? How you contact the parents is completely up to you. I prefer phone calls just because I like to have the interaction with students, or with parents, but you could do positive postcards home. Senate has these yellow postcards that says good news that you can use. Those are housed at Senate. You could do an email, you could do a text. You could look up to see what is the parents' preferred method of communication home. Sometimes they work they work third shift and they're not able to get phone calls. So whatever it is, the important part is that you are making a positive connection home for that moment that their student showed marvelous. The other thing that we wanted to just remember to remind you of are the social media guidelines. Sean Tradle put these out in the newsletter, the principal newsletter, a few weeks ago, but there are a few things that we wanted to highlight for you. That saying, think before you post. Make sure that what you're posting truly represents who you are. We don't want to use our social media, whether it's your personal or your professional, to vent. Because even though it's set to private, only your friends can see it. It takes one person to screenshot it or one person to share it, and we all know then it goes all over the place. So please be cognizant of what you're posting on your own personal social media as well as your professional social media. When you do post about school to show positive things that are going on with school, related to school and to students, we ask that you use the hashtag Senate Shines. We use that a lot on Instagram and on Twitter, but we also use it on Facebook, and we're still working on getting a Snapchat, but Sean's working on that for us. We added in a new hashtag this year also called Senate Shares. There are a lot of times where we find resources online that we think would be helpful to other people in our building, and we, in the past, have used Senate Shines to share those. We're going to add in Senate Shares to share resources that we think that would just be pertinent to the adults in our building. The kids don't really care that I found an awesome way to make a hyperdoc, but Mr. Orieto might. So we just want to make sure that you are using our hashtags, you think before you post, and just make sure that what you're posting professionally and personally really represents who you are as a teacher and as a person.
Hyperdoc. Yes. Yes. All right, so let's wrap this up. So challenges. So as we were learning about and reading about in this book, all this wonderful things, we decided to try and challenge all of us as a staff, things to do and things to kind of carry out for this school year and beyond, right? So presenting to staff, that was our challenge. So we're doing that right now as teacher leaders, but like was said before, everyone's a leader. So any chance you can get to speak up, whether it be in a large group staff meeting or small breakout groups or whatever, we challenge you to do that. As we know, these are interesting times we're living in with the virtual start of the school year. We had thought about, and we know that there are some places that are assisting families with materials. So whether it's dropping off little things, notebooks or whatnot, or getting parents and guardians to come to Senate to pick up some stuff, some school supplies. Hey, it might even just be a bottle of water or snack. It's an opportunity for you as an educator to get to know and the parents and guardians and students and to have them see you as a person, like in person as well. We know Zooms are one thing, but seeing people in person at a safe distance, of course, is quite another. Being able to give, I know lots of small learning communities and Encore, I know we're sending out lots of information, lots of emails and stuff going out with contact info and whatnot, but this also might be a chance for us to like actually physically give a resource sheet for it to a parent or a guardian, and they have that in their hands. Once again, hopefully you've heard this theme of keeping a positive attitude. We know positivity can ebb and flow. You know that you are very, very influential on young people's lives, and you're influential on staff members' lives as well. So keeping that positive attitude's important. Can't be done 100%, but when you find yourself dipping try and turn that frown upside down, so they say. One of the things that we challenge you to do is to get to know your students. One way to do that would be a student interview, having them give you some information, whether it be via Google form or whatever, about themselves, right? We're here for relationships. One of the best ways to get and maintain and further relationships is by knowledge. Not only you knowing them, but them knowing you as well. So do some sort of student interview. And as we talked about, make some sort of positive communication home, and we're challenging you to do it on a weekly basis. We know we all have our advisories, and that's a group of kids, but it doesn't just have to be there. It could be anytime you see a marvelous moment. It could be about whatever of any students that you're dealing with. Make those positive phone calls, a quick text, or whatever home weekly. So those are our challenges for you from this book group.
If you have any questions about any of the stuff that we presented here today, please feel free to reach out to us with any questions that you have, either on Zoom or email.